I'm gonna put on the swivels that I make, the ones that I actually produce. So no title, no Everlast. We're putting the Thrasher House up. I have these. This is a pro ball that's made out of Australia. That's my logo, and that's my initials on the bottom of it. So I started speedbagging 4 years ago and ain't stopped.
Let's go.
Oh, Judah, my brother, man. Getting it from the master himself.
Put that box.
Thrasher House. Look him up on Instagram, on his website. It's going down. Yo, 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 what's up, people? This is officially the first episode of the Good Fight podcast. Welcome. My name is Joshua Munoz. They also call me Coach Josh. My esteemed co-host over here is Joe, aka Terrell Joe, aka Joe the Terror from Terrell, aka Joseph, but we just call him Joe. My first guest right here is Mr. Jeff Thrasher. He is the owner, the founder of the Thrasher House, and we'll get more into that. But we're really excited about this. Before I turn it over and we begin to interview the first guest, let me just say something quick about what this show is about and why we're doing it. It's called the Good Fight podcast. Of course, this is a boxing gym, this is a boxing ring, and it's because we're really using boxing as a metaphor to talk about our fights in life, our wins, our losses, our struggles, our challenges, our ups and downs, and ultimately our successes. And so the aim is to bring on a new guest every episode to share his story with you all in hopes that we motivate and encourage and get others through what we call the good fight. So welcome, Jeff. Welcome.
Thank you very much, man. Glad to be here.
What is the Thrasher House? What is it? What do you do? How did it get started?
So 4 years ago, 2020, January, my boss came to me and said, "Hey Jeff, everybody in a salary position like yours, they want you, corporate wants you to do continued learning."
Okay.
I was a regional radiation safety officer at the time. And so I said, "Okay, what do you want me to learn?" He goes, "Quite honestly, man, I don't care if you take Word class, Excel class, or you can do a yoga class." I said, "All right,
Paid,
well."
and it's paid while you're doing this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I said, "All right, well, cool. I've always wanted to learn how to hit the speed bag."
Why? Why Speedbag? Were you boxing it growing up, or?
No, never.
Fan of boxing or anything? Or?
Oh, well, Rocky. I mean,
okay,
we all...
absolutely, man.
I just wanted to look like Rocky.
So that's what attracted you to the Speedbag.
That and I wanted to lose weight.
Okay.
I wanted to get a little healthier, right? So I was going to do heavy bag and I was going to do speed bag. Well, as you can tell on Instagram, which one got the most time,
Yeah.
I mean, I love to speed bag. When I got into it, I had no idea I was going to love it like I did.
So you went and said, "Okay, I'm gonna learn Speedbag."
January 29th was the first time in my life that I've ever touched a ball. Never touched a ball before that on speed bag, right?
Yeah.
So never touched a speed bag prior to that. And my friend at work, Richie, he goes, "Hey man, you got to record your first 30 episodes."
So what did you go buy? Where'd you go buy a platform from? Where did you go buy?
I built it.
You built
Really?
it.
Yeah.
Really?
Never
Yeah.
touched a Speedbag and like I'm just gonna build the damn platform. I'm not gonna go to Academy. I'm not gonna go to Walmart.
I used to be a carpenter.
Okay.
Okay.
So my building experience in the past, is what led me to where I just built this janky setup. I mean, it took me about a week to go, yeah, this is gonna work.
So what you made your own drum and everything?
I made it all. Yeah, so what you see now on my setup is what I call the gateway.
Yeah.
It is this, and that's what it looks like. It looks like a gateway to another dimension. I have a metal frame building, so
Yeah.
I got neighbors all around me, and I had to build my structure to where I wasn't going to drive everyone nuts.
Yeah.
Well, if you've got a platform that vibrates and it doesn't have a lot of mass to it, it makes a lot of noise. So I started figuring out ways to make it quieter. And so that's why my platform weighs about 300 pounds.
Okay.
It is solid as a rock.
But I gotta know. So what was the first one made out of?
Plywood.
Okay.
And every one of them since.
Okay, so you started. Okay, let's walk it back then. So
Yeah.
you made your own platform.
Made my own platform. Total piece shit.
Start messing with the bag. I mean, immediately.
I'm wearing wraps.
Okay.
I look like Rocky. I'm all wrapped up.
Did you have music on? Did
I
you
don't
have
even
music on?
no. But like I say, I was following my friend's cue. He goes, "Hey man, record your first 30 days,
Yeah.
so you can see what your progress is like at the end." And so I was like, "All right, cool, yeah, I'll do that." And so I get to day 28.
Yeah.
Right? I'm 2 weeks in, I build the gateway. Okay? Because that other one was a piece of junk.
Yeah.
I build the gateway. This thing's a behemoth. It was at the height. My first one was at the height that I actually bag at now. But the one that I built afterwards, it is inches above my head because what have I studied up till this moment on how to speed bag? What do you look at?
YouTube.
Boxers.
Oh, yeah, you look at that. Yeah.
Every single video starts out with the triple beat.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's what I started out with also, the triple beat. And I'm 28 days into it, and I'm telling you, man, I'm to the point where I can like hit the ball 84 times in a row because I'm counting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm counting. You know, I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm awesome and I'm great. And I thought that you couldn't get any better. And then my same friend who came to me and said, "Hey man, watch this video." I said, "All right, what is it?" He goes, "You just got to watch this video." And so I watched this video, and it was of a guy I'd never heard of. His name is Speedbag Skunk. Okay. If you ain't never heard
I've
of
never
him,
heard of him. No.
see,
No.
just like me, right?
Right.
But you've heard of Rocky.
Oh, absolutely.
And we all know how Rocky
Yeah.
hits. I see this video of this guy. It's only 1 minute long, and he is hitting the ball with elbows, front, side,
up.
like every single direction. I'm like,
The Globetrotters of Speedbag.
dude, I'm like, you just melted my brain. And I've studied what I felt like was every YouTube video that you could watch. I could do all the this, and I could do all the, every single way that you could speed bag as a boxer. I had seen it, but this guy blew my mind.
Well, what did you do different? Is it a different method? Is it a
Yeah,
different
it's what
technique?
they call Bible style.
Bible style seems pretty sacred there.
Yeah.
Seems that way, right? And that's why some guys have started calling it freestyle. Because I don't really, Alan Kahn is the creator of the Speedbag Bible. He was standing at the airport and he's thinking about how can I name my new book?
Yeah.
Because Alan had gone through all the steps of every punch has a name.
Yeah.
And so he figured out how to abbreviate it so when he could write out these patterns, it wasn't right hand circle punch, it was RCP.
Yeah.
So he abbreviated this language so it's easier to understand and you go through this book and study it. Well, Alan was coming up for a name for it and he was at the airport and he was looking at the Deer Hunter's Bible.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Well, I'll just call it the Speedbag Bible."
Right.
And so that's how the name came
I
about.
see.
And so that's why everybody now calls it Bible style.
Yeah.
Because if you're into the bagging that we do,
Yeah.
and that's where Skunk learned it from, was from Speedbag Bible.
I wonder how that translates to enhanced boxing performance, though, right? Because first of all, I don't even know the origin or the history of the speed bag, and so do you? Like, have you during your
You can go all the way back into the 1800s.
Really?
speed bagging?
Speedbagging. Dude, Doris DeGreen in the early
Where did it
1900s,
originate?
like
What,
1920.
like what area, what place did it?
Dude, they were traveling people.
Like gypsies.
They
Could have been
were
Fast and Furious.
They were,
Yeah.
they were part of the traveling shows.
Okay.
So, I mean, and you had people that's all they did.
So it was like a circus act?
Yeah, pretty much. Dude, Doris DeGreen could sit there and, like, standing there, she could sit there and use her knees and her feet at the same time.
God.
I mean, her knees and her hands at the same time.
Oh, I'd hate to argue with that.
I don't even want
Oh,
to
she'd
see
mess
that.
you up.
I would hate to.
Dude, I
oh,
sit
man.
there, she's sitting there doing this with 2 bags. She's sitting there just, like, double them, just like this. And I'm like, no way.
So is she the one who made Speedbag and like popular?
No.
Really?
Back then, maybe to some extent,
I
but
see.
not enough to where it all died away, and that's why nobody knows this style of bagging.
Okay.
It's been around forever. Alan didn't invent it.
So do you have any idea when it became adopted by the boxing community as part of the training routine?
I think that for a long time, the speed bagging was the videos go way back. I imagine that since the advent of when they started using speed bags, that it was, I can almost assure you, it was for originally some type of boxing.
I'd just be curious to know, like, at what point does the boxing community say, "Oh, this would be good"?
Right.
It helps us with our reaction time, our reflexes, hand-eye coordination. Like, we all know the reasons why it benefits an actual boxer, but I mean, you just think about that the origin had nothing to do with.
And all the sideshow people that I saw were not boxers. They were
They're just good at what they do.
They were baggers, and there's a whole group of them that traveled around doing that stuff. And Doris was the one that
Women with the beard.
Right.
Yeah, right. So, but that's what it kind of was back then. And boxing did get into it, but the problem was that there were certain nuances that were lost. when these people passed away, you didn't have YouTube that had these history of you know, like if I die right now, you go to my YouTube 100 years from now, you can learn how to speed that. You can learn everything that I knew. Yeah. But back then you didn't have that. Yeah. And it's hard to pick up what's in a book versus what you can see in the video. You know? See what I'm saying? Right. So, but Alan's the reason why we bag the way we do today.
Okay, so you found him.
So I find Alan actually months after I started bagging, and I feel bad about it as a bagger now. Yeah. I introduce everybody to like Alan's stuff up front now. I'm like, hey, by the way, you know, there's Alan Kahn. Everybody learned from this guy. You know, anybody.
Pay homage to the school.
Yeah, like this dude is. Yeah, and so and Alan is one of the nicest people. He lives in Waco, Texas. He lives, yeah, he lives here.
Oh,
yeah. And I should probably call him up and see if I can come by his house tomorrow on the way back.
Okay, so you do that. You're in the first 30, 60 days of, you know.
28, day 28. And I see this video and my mind melts. I sat there and I was at work, but I guarantee you I spent the next 3 hours re-watching that video and trying to understand what he was doing and then trying to find where I could find more of this style. You know, and it just, from that day forward, I never hit the ball like a boxer again. Yeah. I instantly went from I want to look like Rocky to I want to look like Skunk. And then I do that for a while, right? And I'm just hunting Skunk down, like just constantly trying. And it took a couple of weeks till I found his page on Instagram where he would respond, because I messaged him multiple times on YouTube and he didn't respond.
Yeah.
So I find him on Instagram. And I find his Speedbag Skunk page, but he won't respond. But then I figured out that he had a personal page.
Yeah.
And so I go find him there, and then we start talking.
Stop.
I do. But I'm like, because it's part of its equipment.
Yeah.
Part of its equipment, because I'm watching Skunk, and I'm like, where do you get that swivel? Because I got this U-hook that sucks.
So were you immediately able to pick up on the difference was in the equipment?
That was part of it.
Yeah.
There's no question.
Yeah.
When you watch his ability to change directions and you're watching the swivel, I'm a mechanic.
Yeah.
Along with carpenter, right? So I've got a very mechanical background. And I instantly, when I saw him hitting on that swivel and I saw the ability that moved just so easily, I was like, I need that.
Yeah.
And so I reach out to him. We're talking, I'm like, where can I get that? And he sends me one direction. And that kind of, the only way you could get swivels from this guy, he was just an independent, you know. And
so how much did the swivel change your performance? Like right away, right off the bat?
Immediately, horrible.
Really?
So you bought one from him?
No.
It's okay. So it's okay.
No. So I tried.
Okay.
And he wouldn't sell me one.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even respond.
Why?
No, I can't get into that.
Fuck you, it's my swivel.
It's. Okay.
I see.
All right, I'm not getting into that.
Okay, so you're just like, I'm gonna make my own swivel?
I bought a Forza Evolution. It's a ball and hook.
Well, what company makes that?
Forza.
I've heard of
Yeah, they're a little small company, right? I bought a Forza Evolution, and it was the first ball and hook that I got, and you instantly realized how weak your form is on a ball and hook versus a U-hook. A U-hook is made to where the main travels front to back.
Yeah.
You can hit it off center, and it's still going to go front to back for the most part. You barely hit off center on a ball and hook, and it helicopters.
Yeah, well, I mean, every time I Speedbag, it does that regardless.
I can teach you.
Yeah. How do you get the swivel issue fixed?
What I did was I started making my own.
Talk to me about that. So you're like, God damn it, I'm just gonna make my own freaking swivel.
Like, did you go to Home Depot?
Yeah, exactly. Did you go into Lowe's? Like, I do not know what
you know, I'm at machine shops all the time.
Okay.
You know, and I'll be honest, I'm at machine shops all the time because for non-destructive testing, that's what type of work we did. We were in machine shops, but they didn't do this type of stuff.
Yeah.
So talk about just like, I got all the tools right there, but I mean, I can't do anything about it. So, so what I did is I go to Home Depot and I start looking for the core ball because I'm like, oh, it's just a ball with a hook in it. No big deal. I start looking for that. No, they don't sell those.
Yeah.
You have to make them. I'm like, all right, well, maybe I can find something I could, you know, get this. Like, I tried to Home Depot it together and I couldn't.
No, do it yourself.
It was so. What I did was I went to Hobby Lobby and I took that Forza Evolution and I bathed it in a silicone so I could make a mold of it. So that way I could pour my own castings of it. Because I had friends who wanted ball and hooks. This is 2020.
He's speaking your language, Joe.
man,
I don't know what he is here.
So this is 2020. All right, this is 2020. This is COVID now. All right, so nobody's doing anything.
Just selling toilet paper in the black market.
You mean life sucks, you know?
Yeah.
For me, it's fucking great though. For me, it's great because I get to sit at home and tinker all day long on this stuff.
Damn, man, I wanted to tinker all day.
I know. I mean, I worked, but I would come home and just be like, oh man. So what I did was I went home, Hobby Lobby, and I buy this stuff so I can make copies of it. And when I do, for me, it worked.
Yeah.
I sent it to one guy, a copy of it, and it just snapped and broke. You know, because it was craft store resin. It wasn't anything industrial.
Right.
Well, the Forza Evolution is a metal swivel.
Yeah.
It can be really thin and really strong. Well, that type of plastic could not.
Yeah.
And so they broke really
Yeah.
easy. So, oh my God, man. And I was like, I'm done. I'm not making another swivel again. I'm quitting.
Yeah.
I can't take this heartache.
Yeah.
I mean, because seriously, I worked so hard on these things.
Yeah,
and it
you're
just
tinkering
broke
all
my
day.
heart. Yeah. Man, I mean, it really hurt.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
And so I sent him a message and said, hey man, I'm really sorry that broke. And I'm working on a mold right now for a new swivel. And I'm going to send it to Skunk.
Yeah.
And he's going to try it out.
Yeah.
And if it works the way I think I will, I'll give you a swivel for free. And I'll even give you your money back. He goes, no man, just give me my money back. This ain't my style. And I was like, man, it hurt.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like,
So you go back to the lab.
I go back to the lab and I send Skunk his swivel and he posts using my swivel. Imagine Tiger Woods using your golf club.
Damn.
Man.
Okay?
Right, yeah.
Skunk is it.
Yeah.
There ain't no bigger name than Speedbag.
Yeah.
There's Alan and Skunk. And really, at this point in time, more people know who Skunk is.
Yeah.
Right? So Skunk is
It's like
bagging
the
on.
Jordan Speedbag.
Yeah. Skunk is just obliterating this thing. And I'm just watching like, oh, please don't break in this video. You know? Like, oh my God. So Skunk's like, Skunk approved.
Yeah. Damn, you should put that on one of the swivel. Just
Skunk
make a stamp. Make a stamp.
Skunk approved. So I I even sent a message to Rob. I'm like, hey, dude, Skunk approved. He goes, want my money back. All right, cool.
Okay, fine. I'll send you a swivel too.
This is that swivel. Not the one that Skunk had, but this is the one that came off that mold.
That's the one that broke.
This did not break.
No.
This is the one that's.
It's the new improved.
This is what it was the improved one.
I see.
And this thing's it worked for what its purpose was to get me to have enough courage to keep doing this.
I see.
Because people saw this and it wasn't your typical round swivel.
Yeah.
It was something a little different. It was made by some guy who was willing to talk and sell to anybody.
Yeah.
'Cause that's literally what I do.
Yeah.
Talk to anybody. And so I made this swivel and I started selling it. Problem was, they start breaking.
Those?
These
The one that didn't break on Skunk.
didn't break on Skunk, but over repeated use and just time and time, it broke down. So this was Evo 6, all right, evolutions of swivels, right? If you look at my wall, I've got all these evolutions of swivels, right? This is
From the
Evo
monkey
6.
to the man.
Yeah. My two main product testers was Skunk and Jonathan Chappelle.
Yeah.
Known on Instagram as Chappelle for Life, the number 4, Chappelle for Life.
Okay.
Fantastic bagger. The guy bags for a long time when he bags, and he hits really hard. We started bagging within days of each other.
Yeah.
So I think he started bagging like 3 days before I did, and we talked about Speedbag birthdays, right?
Oh man, Speedbag birthday.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's a thing.
When did you start bagging, dude?
Today.
Yeah. Pop my cherry today.
Here we go.
So they break until I get to number 11. What I did was I took a chunk of clay and I just made a plastic mold of that. Really, and just took this chunk of plastic and because I had to shape it around the core ball. So I take the clay, I put it around the core ball, and then I make a mold of it. Then I make a plastic copy of that, and then I start shaping it down on a drill press and a skill saw. I mean, and a table saw.
Yeah.
That's how I get my shape for the 11 and 12.
I see.
Those swivels were so strong with craft store resin, the eye hook starts snapping.
Really?
So I'm like, I'm done with this shit, man.
Fix
I'm
one
just
thing,
done.
they got another thing.
Calling you saying, hey man, broke your swivel.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've got a full-time job. I don't even have to do this stuff. Why am I doing this? You know, like literally, why am I doing this?
Yeah, passion.
There were people in the world that wanted to speed bag the same way as Skunk and I do, and they didn't have the equipment to do it. So I started making it for them.
But it's because they didn't know did most of that people know it had to do with equipment?
Yeah.
Does your average person know I can't speed bag like that? It has everything to do with the swivel.
It's when they would come to us and say, hey, I want to learn like you do.
Are these boxers?
Some.
Really?
Surprisingly,
That's awesome.
had pre-holes in them. They had holes. The new swivels that I made, they didn't have any at all.
Yeah.
I made blanks. I have 12 swivels up at their place. So and they all perform.
So
like
your customers, the concentration of your customers are average Joes, not boxers, but your followers
are a lot of boxers.
A lot of boxers.
Almost all of them. I would say 75% of them.
Nice.
So, and because those videos, whatever reason, that one video started kind of going nuts. The one where at A's gym, it was weird, man. It's like, just I usually average 1,000 views.
Yeah.
Right. You know, and this one is like 25,000 views.
Is there any boxer that you've seen like, man, that dude's badass on the speed bag? That's impressed you on the speed bag?
Like, yeah.
Oh, Tony. Tony's good.
Really?
Tony's
all
good.
The boxers that.
Tony's good. Theo. Man. Lopez.
Teofimo Lopez.
Yes.
Teofimo
Lopez.
He got a
Teofimo
custom
Lopez.
speed bag made from Omi, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
so the other
beautiful
night,
bag.
I'm sitting there getting ready to record a video, and Omi calls me, and I'm like, literally, I got the camera up, and I'm about to start, and I'm like, who's calling Omi? And I'm like, what's up, brother? And it was him and Tio.
Oh,
What?
man.
Like, yeah,
They FaceTimed you?
Yeah.
Wow, dude,
Yeah.
that's
So
awesome.
so
man.
he was talking to them, and he said, if you want to get in business with me, you got to think about getting in business with the Thrasher House because we're partners on a lot of stuff.
Nice.
So he calls and Tio's like, he goes, man, you're nice at it. And I said, you know, I got a little practice. I'm all right. And he goes, yeah, no, you're better than all right. I'm like,
Tio told you that?
yeah.
How does that make you feel,
Now,
man?
man.
Like a stamp of approval.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah. And it is. It's
Tio's a beast, bro.
Yeah.
He's good. Him, Ben Whitaker, he's another one. He's got a
Really?
he's got
Like I
stuff.
think at 140, Tio beats everybody.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody.
If Teofimo's on his game.
He beats. Yeah,
Yes.
it's true. If he's in good right headspace,
If his
not
dad's
like
not
when
in his ear.
not like when we saw him. Yeah, well, that too. Not like we saw him against Cambosos for that first time.
Yes.
But if he's on his game, I
But he
think
was battling health issues.
yes,
wasn't he?
in mental issues and
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
But he beats everybody at 140.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody at 140.
I think so. I think his
Yeah.
next fight is honestly with Devin Haney, and I hope so because I think he knocks him
Yeah,
out.
I
hope so.
I think
I hope.
Haney's going to be very careful about who he chooses.
Oh, especially after this last
Yeah.
one. After this last one.
Like what you do is inherently connected to the boxing community.
There's not a one boxing gym
Yeah.
without a speed bag.
There are.
Really?
Oh,
Or because they couldn't afford it. Or something.
Yeah, they don't have space
they
for it.
hate them.
Why?
Really?
You would think of all communities, the number one community that accepts the speed bag more than any other
MMA.
be boxers, right? Boxers.
But why,
fighters.
okay, why do you think that is? Because that's obviously I feel like that's weird because we're in the boxing. I mean, I'm a coach. Like I lived this, right? Like I have never heard that before. What gym does not like a speed bag in their gym?
A lot of. I mean, I'm not going to name names.
Please name names.
Yeah,
No, there's a lot of
right
gyms.
there.
They hate them.
Why? Because their
Think
guys
they're
can't figure it out.
totally useless. You don't use those skills in a boxing match. It's loud. It's obnoxious.
What?
Dude, can't tell you how many times. And that's. I mean, I have been bashed for being a speed bagger and not a boxer. I mean, people really get on me hard about that. They're like, "Oh, but can he fight?" I'm like, I didn't realize the only way you could use a speed bag was if you were a fighter.
Yeah.
And it's like saying, you know, I can ride a wheelie on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Can you race? Nobody's
gives a
ever
shit?
asked
Like-
me that.
Yeah,
See?
exactly.
Nobody's ever asked me
Yeah.
that question when I posted pictures or
Yeah.
videos of me doing
I know
wheelies.
people who
Can't
can
you
dunk.
race?
I mean, they can
But
shoot
when I
threes,
post
you know?
videos of me speedbagging, do you fight? I bet I can knock you out. I'm like,
Aw, man, who cares, man?
right.
Like,
And so I usually swag that. No, I get a lot of grief, but here lately they've actually been more accepting of it.
yeah. Why? Yeah, I mean, like, I think Speedbag has been a part of boxing. It's a part of boxing heritage.
Right.
It is. And let's just face it, like, if you look at the development of boxing and the skills and the techniques and the routines, they're changing. They're becoming more advanced. As with any sport, right? Like, if you look at football, you look at baseball, you look at basketball, the way they train and the way they teach people is not the same that it was 30, 40 years ago. Why? Because you actually got people with degrees and education who are actually running tests, running trials, doing research, trying to figure out innovative ways to enhance the performance of athletes.
Science.
Now, boxing has been behind that innovative curve, though, because it's a grassroots sport. I want to be able to translate the techniques, the exercises, the routines that'll help build a better boxer. So where did you graduate? What high school did you
Longview High School.
Longview High School.
I went to Trinity for a couple of years, and then I went to Salt Lake City out west in Phoenix, and wound up looping out one of my friend's motorcycles and completely destroyed my shoulder, so I had to have it rebuilt. Yep. So
That didn't affect the speedbag at all?
it does.
Okay.
You always see my left arm is lower than my right.
I see.
Shit.
I've had it rebuilt 3 times. So yeah. So move out there, and I moved back to have my shoulder rebuilt, and so that was July of 4th of July of 2000, or nope, 1999, 98, July of 98, and then so that was first shoulder surgery. Second shoulder surgery was right before Christmas, and then that next summer my father hung himself.
Oh,
Wait, how old are you? How old are you at this time?
22 years old.
Your father hung himself?
Found him hanging out our carport.
You found him?
so sorry to hear that.
Oh yeah. Oh, so wait. You found him. You